For over 11 centuries, the throne of Constantinople was the most dangerous seat of power in the world. 40% of Byzantine emperors were assassinated. Many more were blinded, exiled, or overthrown. No dynasty lasted forever. But from this storm of intrigue emerged figures of staggering brilliance, rulers whose vision carved the fate of continents. Here, we step into their world. The schemers, the warriors, the saints, the monsters. The emperors and empresses whose crowns were forged in fire, and whose names would echo for centuries. Justinian, the emperor who dreamed in marble. It is the 6th century. The empire is weary, scarred, shrinking. And then rises a man who refuses to accept decline. Justinian I, born in a peasant hut in the Balkans, climbs the ladder of power through intelligence, diligence, and an iron will. He dreams not merely of ruling an empire, but of restoring Rome to its ancient glory. He rebuilds the capital after the Nika riots, constructs aqueducts and fortresses, reforms the bureaucracy, and compiles the Corpus Juris Civilis, the foundation of modern law. But his crowning jewel is Hagia Sophia, the greatest church in Christendom, a monument so majestic it seems almost divine. Yet Justinian's achievements would have been impossible without someone far more unexpected. She was born the daughter of a bear trainer. She grew up in the Hippodrome, performing as an actress, a profession regarded as little better than prostitution. But Theodora possessed fire, intelligence, charisma, political instinct. Justinian married her against fierce opposition, raised her to co-ruler, and gave her power no woman had ever held before. And she used it. The Nika riots, the day she saved the empire when Constantinople erupted in revolt, Justinian prepared to flee. Theodora refused. Flight is not for me. Royalty is a fine burial shroud. Her courage steeled the emperor's resolve. The revolt was crushed. The empire survived because one woman would not bend. Theodora the Protector, she sheltered abused women, banned trafficking, expanded women's rights, and reshaped Byzantine law in favor of the vulnerable. Together, Justinian and Theodora became a force of nature, reformers, builders, conquerors, a peasant and an actress who ruled the world. If Justinian was the empire's architect, Basil II was its hammer. For nearly 50 years, 976 to 1025, he ruled with relentless discipline. A man who slept in tents, marched with soldiers, and lived for war. He inherited a realm fractured by rebellious nobles. He tamed it with steel. The war against Bulgaria. For decades, Tsar Samuel resisted Byzantine power. But Basil was patient, methodical, unyielding. Finally, in 1014, at the Battle of Cledion, he crushed the Bulgarian army. Chroniclers claim he blinded 14,000 prisoners, leaving one one-eyed man per 100 to guide them home. When Samuel saw his mutilated soldiers, he suffered a heart attack and died. Brutal, yes. Accurate. Sources disagree, but the message was unmistakable. Basil II was not a ruler to defy. He died undefeated, leaving the empire wealthy and powerful, perhaps more so than at any time since Justinian. Few emperors faced odds as terrifying as Heraclius. When he seized the throne in 610, the empire was collapsing. Persia had taken Syria, Palestine, Egypt, the empire's breadbasket. Jerusalem fell. The true cross was stolen. Heraclius did what seemed impossible. He reformed the army, rallied support, and launched a daring counterattack deep into Persian heartlands. In 627, at Nineveh, he defeated the Persians so decisively that their empire crumbled. The true cross was returned to Jerusalem. Heraclius was hailed as a hero. But fate struck cruelly. The Arab conquests. Within a decade, Muslim armies overwhelmed the exhausted empire. Heraclius, who had saved Byzantium once, was unable to save it a second time. A tragic hero, victorious at first, overwhelmed in the end. By the late 11th century, Byzantium was on the brink of extinction. Then came Alexios I Komnenos, a commander barely in his 20s, charismatic, brilliant, and utterly determined. He faced enemies on all fronts. Normans invading from the west, Pechenegs raiding from the north, Seljuk Turks dominating Anatolia, internal traitors scheming in the palace, the First Crusade desperate. Alexios sent envoys to the Pope asking for Western help. He received far more than he expected. The First Crusade erupted, not a few knights, but tens of thousands. Their presence in the empire marked a turning point in East-West relations, cooperation mixed with deep mutual suspicion. Still, with Crusader help, Alexios recovered much of Anatolia and restored the empire's finances and army. He did not reclaim all the lost lands, but he saved the empire from destruction. In a world dominated by men, one woman seized the throne with audacity. Irene of Athens, 797 to 802. She began as a regent for her son, Constantine VI, but when he tried to remove her, she staged a coup, had him seized, and ordered him blinded. Shocking, terrifying, but it made her the first woman to rule the empire in her own name. Irene's rule. She restored icons after decades of iconoclasm, becoming beloved by the church. Western Europe was outraged. They refused to accept a woman as Roman emperor. So Pope Leo III crowned Charlemagne as Emperor of the Romans, declaring the Byzantine throne vacant. A political earthquake still felt today. Irene was eventually overthrown, but her reign marked a turning point in imperial history. In 1204, the Fourth Crusade shattered the empire. But in 1261, a single daring night attack changed everything. General Michael Palaiologos sent a small force into Constantinople through a little-used gate. They took the city while the Latin occupiers were distracted. Michael crowned himself emperor, Michael VIII, and restored the Byzantine Empire. But his victory came at a cost. Diplomacy with the West, heavy taxes, internal resentment, and the rise of the Ottomans in Asia Minor. He saved the capital, but the empire he restored was a weakened shadow of its former self. The end of the story belongs to a hero, Constantine XI Palaiologos, the last Roman emperor. He inherited an empire of dying embers, a ruined economy, a hollowed army, a capital surrounded by Ottoman power, yet he refused to surrender. In 1453, as Mehmed II's cannons shattered the Theodosian walls, Constantine made his choice to die as a Roman. According to legend, his final words to his soldiers were, "The time has come. Let us not surrender our city or our freedom. Let us die fighting." He fought on the walls until he vanished in the melee, his body never conclusively identified. The empire died with him, but his courage ensured he would live forever in history. From peasant-born emperors to warrior queens, from scholars to tyrants, from saints to soldiers, the rulers of Byzantium shaped a civilization unlike any other. They faced impossible odds. They rebuilt a world. They preserved the wisdom of antiquity. They stood between Europe and annihilation for centuries, and they passed down a legacy of Roman law, Orthodox Christianity, Greek literature, imperial ceremony, diplomacy and statecraft, art, architecture, and philosophy. The empire is gone, but its spirit remains very much alive.